All right, so you guys know how much I get on you to do room and speaker correction software, and I've already reviewed this, so I know it's no BS. And now I'm here with you in New York City to see you in person. I want to, first of all, thank you again for sending me a product to review.
Awesome.
That was really cool. I wasn't expecting that, and actually it delayed me reviewing another product, big time, and I still haven't reviewed it because
you're having such a great time.
Because reference is so damn good, and I'm like, well, okay, I spent $70, but so anyway, but I have not checked out 4.1, and for a couple of reasons. I hope you don't mind me asking. First of all, why was the nominal, the optimum mode dropped? Do you know why that was?
Well, yeah, the optimum mode was actually, I guess it just wasn't the best way to call a product or a feature. It obviously wasn't optimal because with the linear phase or with zero latency, you're still, well, basically we're using the worst of both those filters and calling it optimum. So it was actually a bit of a product decision in the first place to call it that. But we know that a lot of the people in the community were using an optimum phase, so we're speaking, on a product level to see how we can reintroduce this back into the product.
Okay, and I was one of those users, but if you guys are telling me the other one's better, I'm going to trust your guidance on that one.
Yeah.
You know your own product way better than we do.
Yeah, I definitely use linear phase. We'd recommend you doing it. Of course, if you're tracking, then of course use zero latency. But when it comes down to the actual mixing phase, then yeah, just get on the linear.
So the second question is, how come you removed the beautiful woman's voice from the product?
Oh, and now we've got a beautiful man's voice now. No? Yeah, we did.
He does sound pretty handsome.
He does, yeah. Again, a product decision. Would you prefer the woman's voice back in the product?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We'll take the feedback and we'll give that to the product team for sure.
And was that a Latvian accent?
No, that wasn't a Latvian accent. Honestly, so we have a German male speaking now. These authentic German guys. So
I was talking about the woman.
Oh, you're talking about the woman. I think she was Russian native.
Close enough.
Close enough. Yeah, pretty much.
All right, so now. Oh, one more question about 4.1. I'm getting all the bad stuff out of the way. Sorry, man.
That's okay, it's okay.
Speakers, why are the speaker emulation, why is that gone?
Yeah, so the reason that had been removed was because potentially we were infringing a patent in the US.
Thank you for confirming that rumor because people were saying that. I didn't believe them.
Yeah, no, that is true. So there is a potential patent that we're infringing. We were advised, so we weren't in any trouble. But we were just advised to just remove that for this. Now, we're again working on a company-wide level to see this back in. It is a great feature. We know that people do it. What we do hope, though, is that people can just trust the target curve that they are working towards. And if that is the world that we actually live in, then is there potentially a need to reference to the monitors? Yeah.
So let's get to the good stuff, because that's what you guys were going to say. Hey, Adam, why didn't you ask me about all the other stuff, man? What are you trying to hide? They're not hiding anything. I'm not hiding anything. You didn't even know I was going to ask you that.
Absolutely.
He's probably over here shaking. No, he's not. But you can see in 4K. But anyway, seriously though, reference, I really do like reference. And I'm not just saying that because you sent it to me, but I would have bought it myself.
Oh, great.
And I was actually going to buy it. And the next thing you know, they're like,
it's on the doorstep.
Hey! And I'm like, I can't say no. You save me money. And I'm like, the only thing is I always tell people, I'm going to be 100% honest about it. And I found all the little stuff. But you know what? There's always little things that are bad. But 95% of this system, it's not just software, it's a system.
Yeah, that's right.
That you here it is.
I put it
Here's
down.
the mic.
So yeah, we calibrate our microphones as well. We want to ensure that the measurement of the room calibration is as precise as possible. So every single microphone is individually calibrated in our labs. So when you receive the software, it comes with the hardware as well, and each microphone has its own ID. We have already input this mic ID into the software as part of the measurement phase, so we can already see the inherited frequency response of this microphone. So we correct for that.
And I told you guys in the review, they actually sent me 2 microphones, and both of them were different frequency responses. So they're not like just saying they do it and they don't. here's a question for you. In a few years' time, could I send it back in and pay a little bit of a fee to get it recalibrated?
Absolutely. Yeah, we haven't had that situation before, but it's all done in Latvia in our labs and our studios. So yeah, absolutely, you could do that.
That's good for people who, like me, who are OCD about things, and good. So, okay, 4.1 also has a lot more measurements.
That's right, yeah. So the entire algorithm and under the hood was completely redone from the ground up. We completely just did everything. We did the R&D. We increased the measurement points to 37 from, I think it was 24 at the time, to increase something around that, but it was to increase the precision, of course. So now we are, the target curve deviation is plus minus 0.9 dB, which is something that the industry doesn't see happen. So we're incredibly proud. The entire step itself, like the measurement phase, I would have loved to show you, but because of the situation we're in, it's not possible to, of course, calibrate this noisy space. But yeah, we wanted to increase the precision. We're now being able to deliver that more consistently across every single room. The entire measurement step and phase itself is far more intuitive as a user.
I was going to say that because I watched White Sea Studio.
Recently he did the video about 2 or 3 weeks ago, right?
Yeah, and that's actually where I found out there was a male voice, because like I said, I didn't want to upgrade because I now have another product that I use for the speaker simulations, right. And now that you guys told me optimum wasn't so optimum, I now feel comfortable upgrading.
Brilliant.
And also, like you said, under the hood, and you actually guys had said that to me before, that in the future, and this was back in like January of this year, you said that you were going to upgrade your algorithms, so that's all in 4.1.
Yeah, so our intention is just to make this industry eradicate the coloration of studio speakers and headphones as great as possible. So we're doing an extensive amount of research into this constantly, and we'll always upgrade our software and products to ensure that the accuracy is met and we can actually see an industry standard. White Sea did a great video. I reached out to him because I wanted to see, are we snake oil? I actually reached out to him. I was like, oh man, yeah, White Sea's doing snake oil videos. So he did a great review. We spoke on the phone. So a few things that maybe I can mention that he was mentioning as well. Should we use microphone stands? And because that's a misconception as well. I think there are other solutions out there that tell you should use a measurement stand. But actually, if you think about when you're sitting at your desk, you lean forward, lean back, slouch to the sides, and your ears are never in the same position. So in our algorithm, we are actually correcting for that as well. So we want to actually make the correction as human and natural as possible.
So you take flesh and bones into account.
And blood as well.
And hair. Except for me.
Yeah. Well, the idea is so that you don't lose a lot of hair, because when you're not mixing to a calibrated sound, then the problem is that your hair will either turn grey or fall out. So by using reference 4, you're actually going to save your hair as well.
And that's what I've always told people. I'm like, look, man, this guy's taking a picture of me. That's cool. Okay. So I will say that, and why I always talk about speaker and room calibration software, again, like White Sea found out, it's not snake oil. I have Audio Skeptic Society, and you guys passed my tests. The bottom line is, if you don't have your speakers or your headphones calibrated, then you really will find yourself mixing in circles. You'll have to listen to like 10 different playback systems, and even then, you'll still have little issues. Now, I'm not saying that your software is perfect. The one thing I want a feature request.
All right.
Please add in the ability for me to do a high shelf boost, because I think if you did that, it would be perfect.
Right. So okay, it'll be perfect.
So maybe they'll add it in version 5 or 4.2, or who knows?
Yeah, we got actually a lot happening in production at this moment in time. The cool thing is about Sonarworks Sonarworks technology itself is that it could actually be licensed out. So you're not only going to see this within our own product family, but we're actually about to see this technology realized in hardware and other software in professional environments and also in consumer environments as well. Really excited about this.
And that's called?
The consumer product is called TrueFi. So TrueFi, we're about to launch the mobile application in January as well.
I actually have beta tested it.
We've even got a better beta test actually coming out in a couple of weeks, so I'm going to let you have that.
Well, I'm not a part of the official beta test. I saw it on the Google Play Store. All right, so guys, I'm sorry. I don't know when the video cut off, but I'm going to try to go backwards. So we were talking about the mobile app and...
Yeah, so the mobile app is a really exciting possibility because this is not only for the end user and the consumer, but this is a really great way for engineers to be working directly with artists as well. Because engineers and producers will be getting mix notes back, and the artist will be saying, well, where's the bass? And they're listening back on earbuds, right? But now we're about to launch a product that actually will see artists be able to hear the same reference as engineers themselves, which is great because we're going to start to see everything more productive.
Dave Pensato, I believe, was the one who was talking about that in pretty big detail about how he was just tired of, for basically since before, speaker calibration came out, this has been a really major problem where you're like, the audio is great, and you're like, well, what are you listening to it on? I won't name the brand, but you know who I'm talking about. It starts with a B. I'm listening on those headphones.
Yeah.
That's why it sounds sibilant. Because, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, it's quite exciting, and we just want to make sure that the product is, the industry is far more productive. That if it's not only about the engineers, it's also about the artist's art being appreciated by consumers as well. And if and we're in a really intense society where where music is being consumed more and more each day, it's being produced more and more each day. So if we've got a tool that allows engineers, producers, and the consumer to hear as music as it is intended, then we're doing a great thing for the industry.
And that's called studio reference, right?
Yeah, well, the SR actually is studio reference, exactly. So this is the technology that you will start to see licensed in other products, hardware and software.
Cool. And now is the ideal plan for that to be kind of like mastered for iTunes, but instead of mastered for iTunes, it's the studio reference compatible or whatever?
Not entirely. We did do that with Faith No More last year, where they did do like a mix, and it was like mastered for TrueFi. But at the moment, we just want to ensure that everyone's listening to quality audio, quality music. That's the point. Maybe in the future we'll start to see things where it's mastered for TrueFi again, but that only just segments people. And we want to ensure, especially in a democratized, as technology is democratized music production and consumption, we want to keep that going as well. So by licensing licensing our technology to streaming services, to other hardware, software, we're actually able to see it continue to be music quality democratized as well.
Awesome. I really think what you guys are doing is one of the most important things in audio engineering. I mean, really, this is because of so many different playback systems, you run into these issues. And I mean, I just thank you guys for, thinking this. I mean, like I said before, the other products that are out there, those companies, they have a bunch of different products. Sonarworks basically they are like the calibration company. So that's the way I used to look at WCW versus WWF, right. Where WWF was a wrestling company and WCW was a part of a TV network. Right. So that's what you guys are right now. Not to say you're not going to branch off in the future, but you guys are like obsessed with getting this right, and that's a great thing.
Absolutely, that is our obsession, and we're really, really excited. The feedback is fantastic from the industry so far, and as we're seeing DSP integrated both into speakers and headphones, we're going to start to see more technology like Sonarworks found in those products as well.
Neumann was over there doing stuff, so I hope they get with you. KH, whatever it was, 220, I can't remember now. It was the first interview we did. But anyway, thank you guys. Well, thank you. And I'm sorry the blonde hair girl didn't want to be here, but whatever. Right. She was the most Latvian, she's probably not from Latvia, but anyway, I was like, man, we need a pretty girl in one of our videos, but whatever, I'm pretty, you're pretty, it's okay, but whatever.
Thanks so much, a pleasure. It's been a pleasure.
I'm just getting goofy now. We got to cut this.
Thanks.
See you, man.